intentionally do it.
Okay. I think I headed the class. I wouldn't know. I think Rita was with me. About 2 or 3 people were with me. Later, I saw your comment that the class, I wouldn't know, the link was not opening, and so I was just laughing. I said, after we had ended the class.
That was when the network came back.
Yes,
I was not really happy.
Yes, I understand, because the network was not all that. I mean, the weather was not so that favorable that day as well, and
Yes.
everybody was tired, and because it was late in the, I think it was in the evening, around 6 thereabout.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that class was on the, which course was that? I think it was
That
on
was
policy,
social work,
right?
yeah, policy formulation
Social
and
work.
policy
Yes,
formulation.
it was on policy.
And the
yes, I
recording,
remember it was.
The recording was not
Did you
uploaded.
get the recording?
No.
Oh, who has the IT? Who has those in the ICT to maybe to do the needful?
Okay, sir.
It ought to be recorded. Maybe I will remind the IT person to do the needful and post that. I wouldn't know why some are just joining now. I heard, because I joined by 12 o'clock and I was waiting for others to come in. So nonetheless, we
just concluded.
You just concluded one class, right?
Yeah, just a few minutes
the same thing. I just concluded another class. I've been on the course since 6 a.m. You can imagine that. So since 6 a.m., I've been on the call. Between 6 and 9:30 or 10, I was on the call. So I took another class, 10 to 12. So this class now is 12 to 2, and I have another one by 2 to 4. You can see the day is so hectic for me as well.
Yeah.
So invariably, we are not going to spend 2 hours on this. Since we are taking the course we are taking this afternoon, or this time around, is a bit different from what we did last week, and this has to do with the case studies and best practices.
Best practice.
Yes. So if you are not talking, you can please mute your mic so that we can just have one channel of communication, and we'll be able to hear ourselves very well.
Yes. This thing, they said the Zoom is not getting access to this thing.
Can you please mute your mic, Ijoma? Ijoma, please mute your mic.
Yes,
Ijoma, please mute your mic. Ijoma, please mute your mic. Nwagu as well. Stella, your mic as well. Please mute your mic. I'm still waiting. Ijoma, can you hear me? All right. Let me give Ijoma the floor. Ijoma, okay, thank you. Stella, no noise from your side, I believe. Okay, thank you so much. And I want to welcome you to this class as well. Last time we had a course on, we have discussion on the policy formulation and implementation, which it seems to be a practical discussion, because since they are the same students on that course, and you are also the same here. So I just want to pass this information that apart from what we discussed in class, I expected you then, but I still expect you to also lay your hands on some policy documents, like I told you, to go through and see the way that particular policy was formulated, and how far the policy has been implemented as well. So this afternoon in this course, I'm expected, or you are expected, by the end of this course, you are expected to understand the practical application of social work theories through real life cases. Of course, you should know, you have heard about theories. How do we now apply this theory to real life cases? Again, you are expected to analyze case scenarios using ethical frameworks and practice models. You know, we have our own code of ethics in Chartered Institute of Social Work Practitioners of Nigeria. So you look at our ethics, how best can you analyze scenarios, case scenarios that are available where you are. Sorry. You also need to identify and apply best practices in different fields of social work. How do you apply what you have, the best practice, and you are to evaluate outcomes and reflect on interventions for improved practice. Look at some interventions that have been made in different areas of social work, and what impact has this intervention brought into the society at large. You have to reflect on that. You have to also evaluate that. And how can we use what we get from here to improve our practice? So we're going to introduction straight away. What is casework in social work? And I'm happy that majority of you have a background in sociology, in social sciences, and so on and so forth. And even where you work, you must have experienced a number of interventions and the policy implementation strategies, and also on all of that. So we are looking at casework in social work. You see, in this particular course, we are looking at 3 stages. We're looking at 3 methods that we make use of in social work to address societal problems, to solve societal problems and provide solutions for the betterment of the society. Don't forget that the essence of social work is to solve a societal problems or offer solution to any societal problem, so that society can be better than how we met it. So we'll be looking at the casework, we'll be looking at group work, and we're looking at community organization at these 3 levels. And in some literature, it is subdivided into micro, meso, and macro. If I bring it home, when you are talking about policy, I will be relating with policy, don't mind me, because you're looking at the policy. If a policy is formulated at the national level, like we discussed last time, that policy, that is at the macro level. When it's brought to the state, just for our own understanding, we are looking at a middle level, and that is meso, subnational level, that is at the state level. When a law is enacted at the National Assembly, that is at Abuja, at the macro level, that law can only be implemented or can only be enforced at the national level. Most especially in the Federal Capital Territory. It has no direct effect on the state unless the state domesticates that particular law. When the law is domesticated at the state level, which means at the subnational level, that is at meso level, which is middle. Then at the local government level, that is the micro, because that one directly affects the people, because the local government is the closest to the people. That is why it is called the grassroots government. So that is at the micro level. So we're looking at that from the perspective of the method we use in addressing our problems in social work. So at the micro level, we talk about individual. We talk about the family. You know, the family is the microscopic unit of any society. For any society to evolve, it must start from a family, from an individual in a family. So that is why we talk about casework. That is talking about an individual. When looking at casework, you are talking about individual, you are talking about the family, Then we can also move forward and talk about group. You know, when you leave your family, you can talk about others that are surrounded, that surround the family. You can talk about some movement or some organization or some groupings that we may call that may be different from the family. You remember in our elementary social study, we talk about society, we talk about family, extended family, and so on and so forth. We also talk about peer group. We talk about institutions. We talk about socialization. What do we call it? Is it socialization? The agent of socialization. We talk about the family. We talk about peer group. We talk about school and so on and so forth. When we are bringing in peer group, we are bringing in community development association. We are bringing in our union in our workplace. We are talking about group, which means we are going to apply group therapy to solve any problem that may confront us. Union in our workplace, you know, they address the collective interests of every member of that particular group. Like we have the Chartered Institute of Social Work Practitioners of Nigeria, all members' interests are also being taken care of collectively by the act that established the institute. The same way, talking about individual, we are addressing an individual as a person, as a member of the society, as a member of the family. So invariably, we are talking about individual and family, we are talking about group, and we are talking about community at large. Leaving the group, we now look at the community at large. Let's start from Nigeria. Nigeria in context. Nigeria now as a nation. You look at Nigeria, if you leave the soil of this country and you go to Republic of Benin, very close to us, yeah, or you go to Cameroon, you know, you are leaving the Nigeria environment to go to another environment. You are leaving a particular community to go to another community. But when you get there, you'll be referred to as, first of all, as a Nigerian, which means you are representing Nigerian community there. So if you have anything to do with bilateral relations between two countries, you go to your embassy, and that your embassy will treat you as an individual, as a Nigerian in another community. Your community being Nigeria, so that will reflect in whatever treatment has been meted to you. So, like I said, we are going to divide that into three, and we will continue with that for our understanding at our different level. I want to believe with that simple explanation, we understand what is meant by a case work. This actually refers to the method by which individual person or families are assisted. Like I said, by individual person or family, that is the method by which they are assisted. The person may be physically challenged. Such a person may have marital issues. Such a person may be orphan. Such a person may be person with special needs. Such a person may be an unemployed, maybe a youth, maybe a child that can be adopted. It could be a medically unfit person. It could be anybody that deserves our attention or our assistance. It could be homeless. It could be internally displaced person, and so on and so forth. It could be a victim of child abuse. It could be a victim of trafficking. Such a person can also be a victim of gender-based violence. Just think of any social problem. Anybody experiencing that deserves our attention, we'll take that and we want to treat that person individually. So the step in action in assisting this person begin with the word of action, and will also contribute to it. So when we do this, we're looking at that person's problems and we want to determine the cause of that problem. We want to, how best can we solve that problem. We want to understand that individual very well as the community where that individual comes from, apart from understanding the family. That is why when you get to hospital, they will open a case file for you. And when such a file is open, all the history and everything will be inside that file. So the case file will bear your name. That is where all your cases, or everything related to your treatment or whatever, from consultation to the treatment to the eventual discharge, will be recorded in that case file. That is why it is called case file, because it is meant for an individual to be treated. So in this case, the familiar case, we also talk about family casework. We'll talk about individual casework because in family is taken as an individual entity. So in this case, the family casework talks about parents, spouse, child or children, siblings, and other members of the family. Non-familiar relate to lover, friends, neighbors, tenants, and other members of the society. When we talk about industrial casework, we are looking at the occupation. We are looking at, this one is occupational in nature, like workers in paid employment, economy at home, volunteer and student. We are looking at the occupational casework. That is looking at that particular establishment as a case study. I mentioned health casework related to healthcare services. We can also have other social welfare casework where we talk about social needs, special needs, life situations, rules for clients and customers, immigrants, legal and illegal, racism, and so on and so forth. The victim of this, trafficking, and so on and so forth. This relates to social welfare. Then coming to group, we are talking about agency and small groups. Like I've mentioned, we talk about union in our place of work, community organization, where we are in our neighborhood. We have community development associations, we have landlords association, we have market women, we have association of traders, association of councillors, association of senior civil servants, and so on and so forth. All these are groups. So they serve group therapy to handle their problem. Then we come to community. The community at large. What do we do in the community? Community at large, our society at large. If a governor wants to design a program for the whole state, that program will be for the whole state. It's not going to be for a particular family. It's not going to be for a particular sector. It's going to be open to everybody. And that's they are using community organization strategy to address whatever problems such a community is facing. In essence, of case management, we can talk about. We talk about intake for an individual. We talk about assessment, planning, intervention, monitoring and evaluation, and a close-up. When you open a case, you start from intake, you assess the individual, you plan on what to do, what intervention do you want to give out, and how do you now monitor the progress you are making in such intervention, and how do you evaluate whether you are on track or not, and you close that particular case. Now, we quickly go to some social work practice areas with case examples. I want to start with child welfare and protection. This morning in another class where I discussed child adoption process, we'll try to bring up some examples that are relevant in our environment. And what we discuss is child adoption process. So under this child welfare and protection, we want to look at a case. A 10-year-old girl experiencing neglect due to parental substance abuse. What is the best approach to assist this individual? Remember, the key word there is 10-year-old girl experiencing neglect, and then parents, they abuse substance, which means the parents are drug addicts. So how do you now manage such a girl? How do you assist such a girl so that she can become a good ambassador of our society? So what do? We look at best practices. You have to apply child-focused assessment. You use child-focused assessment, which means the assessment you can use for adults, you cannot use for a child. Then you have to do mandatory reporting and multidisciplinary collaboration, because you cannot handle it alone. You are not even sure whether that child has been exposed to that substance. Whether that child, a 10-year-old child, actually understands the implication of abusing substance or of taking drugs. She might be thinking that it's a normal way of life. So can you single-handedly handle that case? You need to bring in some other professionals that will support you, which means as a social worker, don't forget, we don't work in silos. You bring others to assist. That is why the social work is multidisciplinary in nature. So there is need for collaboration among other professionals. Then you also think about safety planning and family preservation approach. Safety planning, how do you now plan for the safety of that girl? How do you plan for that? So these are best practices that you can make use of. That is one example. You can think about that and see the way to handle it. Or if you are looking at gender-based violence, I hope you are aware of the law against violence against persons. Law against violence against persons. That is Violence Against Person Prohibition Act at the national level, law at the state level. You are aware of that. This act clearly addresses gender-based violence. Any violence to any person. The nature, the penalties, the commission of that act, the penalties, and what are connected with gender-based violence are taken care of in this particular law. Let's look at a survivor of intimate partner violence seeking shelter and support. That is an example. Is an individual who has experienced GBV and is a survivor. God has helped her to survive that violence from her partner, from an intimate partner, and such a person is seeking shelter.
So the network is affecting your speech. Most every time cut off.
The network, oh, are you people hearing anything?
Not at all. I'm not hearing anything. And last time, that is exactly what happened to you.
No way,
The
no
same
way.
call. I don't know what
Now,
is
wow,
happening.
that's how we did last time. Thank God they are recording this thing. So.
But they did not upload the last message, the last lecture.
So we can hear
They
you.
did now. They did.
They did. I mean, 703.
They did. They did. 70 waiting be that man. They did very well. 703. Yakub. The secretary uploaded it.
Okay, I'll go back to it.
Maybe that where he's saying is where the network problem is coming from.
It's coming from his end.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Welcome back, sir.
Hello, thank you. I heard all you said, oh. Yes, I actually I didn't know that I've muted my mic. I actually had a call. I had an important call which
Okay,
disrupted
sir. Welcome back, sir.
the class. So I'm very sorry for that. So sorry for that break in transmission. So I was on gender-based
violence.
Yes, he was talking about
the law against violence of persons.
Yes, yes. I was on gender-based
survivors seeking shelter.
Yes, great. Thank you. You are following me. You are following me. So survivors seeking shelter and support. And of course, perhaps from your own experiences too, one way or the other, you must have helped one person, a friend, a neighbor, or you must have had somebody who has helped a neighbor, maybe trying to provide a shelter for her when she ran away, maybe from the stubborn husband, when a very stubborn husband, maybe just to save her from continued violence on such an individual. You must have heard about that. You must have seen, or perhaps you yourself must have been involved in kind of a safety procedure for survival of such. But what we are saying here is the fact that if you have such a survivor, how best do we assist her? Remember, we are looking at case study. We are looking at casework on how to assist that individual or that family. So what are the best practices that can be used? Let me hear from you. How best can we solve that problem? If you have a survivor like that and such a person needs shelter and support. Yes, I want to hear your view. What do you think we can do? What do you think we can do? Anyone? Stella?
Sir, let me put up my voice. I think that within the community where we work, if we have such a survivor, what to normally do is to, first of all, if the report comes to us, definitely we have to get the report from the survivor. First of all, let the survivor leave to stay with the parents if it's a female. If it is a male, because it can be both sides. If it is a male, we will still send the woman back to her place, first of all, for shelter, for the man to have a little shelter within the place where he is. That is the first step. Then we'll begin to know what is in the environment, there is assessments, try to find out why this continuous battering and violence in the family. We'll look into it, and at that pace, we will try our best to bring them to a sitting, a garden, to speak to them and understand what is illegal. That is how we follow it, because we cannot take
All
them
right.
to our house.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So you have talked about providing shelter for such an individual, and you get the right information from our own side to give the true story of what has actually happened. You are, and invariably you mentioned the fact that you refer such a person to her family, I mean to her parents, so that the right protection can be given to her. In essence, you have talked about referral, because you cannot do it alone. So you need somebody that can provide that service. Because if you say you want to house her in your own place, that may even cause further harm. The husband or the partner may not be happy with that, and it can transfer that aggression even to your own family, seeing you as an accomplice. So that is beautiful. So that is beautiful. Any other idea? All right. Perhaps to save time, what she just mentioned is very, very cogent. You may have to do referral. Referral in the sense that you don't have the legal weapons to actually take care of that survival. You can immediately make legal referral, in which case you can inform the right agency, you can inform the enforcement agents, that is, you can inform the police, you can inform any unit that can provide shelter immediately. And fortunately, I think it's the police that can handle that well, that the other partner will respect. When you can just pass that information, you can take the information to the Ministry of Social Welfare, to the welfare agency, to come into that situation, so that to actually save the situation. You can, if the partner has been battered, that has if an injury has been inflicted on that partner, such a partner must be treated first, in which case you have to refer her to the health, you refer her for health services, for treatment, so that she can be better off medically. So that it is when she regains her consciousness, it is when she is fit medically, that she can be talked to. And again, she needs any legal support, that is, the social welfare department is concerned, and the perhaps any agency in charge of that can just get the report, and they will begin to take action on how to save that person. In which case, such a person will have gotten shelter and will have gotten the right support. And if the root cause of that particular violence, perhaps at times it could be as a result of the economy. The partner may not be economically well, and that can be a source of concern, a source of debate, a source of argument, and a cause of quarrel all the times. That may even trigger such a problem. Perhaps maybe the partner has just lost his or her job, and it's very difficult for him or her to even survive, to live well. It's very difficult for her to make both ends meet. You see, in such a case, perhaps that may be the cause of the violence. You may not know. This is somebody that before that was providing, and at a point in time, he or she lost his or her job. And when such happen, economically it will affect them, psychologically it will affect them, and emotionally they will be affected, and there will be a kind of change in attitude and so on and so forth. The perspective, their life perspective will change, definitely. Everything about them will change. In fact, it will even affect the children and so on and so forth. If that is the case, you have established that as a major cause, you can even link the person to an empowerment agency that could even provide a sort of empowerment, a sort of support, a sort of employment, or a kind of economic activity can be introduced to such a person with assistance. So in that case, we are talking about empowerment and strength-based approach to ensure that such a person come back to, their family or that partner come back to a very stable condition. So these are some of the best practices that we can use. Essentially, I want to emphasize here that you cannot do it alone. You bring in the services of others. So let's look at another one, which has to do with mental health social work. A young adult with a kind of mental health ailment requiring community integration. Okay, let me leave the word mental health. Let's just take health together. Let's take health. Let me go to fistula. Let me get to a lady living with fistula. That lady has just been repaired and she is dry. So before the repair, she had been rejected, she had been isolated, she had lost everything. She had lost everything economically, which means she's poor, she has no means of livelihood. So it was just supported by a donor agency to be repaired. And after the repair, the husband has left her. After the repair, she has been discharged. How does he go back to the community? How will she be integrated into the community, reintegrated into the community? What are the best practices? Is an individual. Our case is the case of health condition that has affected her. So socially, that condition has affected her. Economically, it has affected her. So how best? Beyond medical now, the medical predicament has been solved. But now, social aspect, the social and economy, how does it go back to the community? Don't forget, he has been isolated. There has been stigma, but now he's been well. How does it go back to the community? So what approach do we use?
I think
what
should
approach
go.
do we use? Yes. Ideas. I want ideas from all of you.
I will not talk. I don't know whether it is advocacy or trying to hold talks with the family, with herself. First of all, to reintegrate her to the family, that is the society now, because she has lost. She has a problem now. That is societal problem because she.
Yeah, well, Stella, we cannot get to your network. Your network is not stable. Stella, your network is not stable. Can we hear from Idioma? Idioma, are you there?
Okay, yes, sir. Amina is here. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes, Amina Okoro, can you please?
Okay. My own opinion and from experience in trying to reintegrate the person to the society or the community where he or she has left with a stigma, and I would say from the social aspect, I will want us to go back to the community and sensitize the community on that particular challenge. If it's health, tell the community about the health challenge and how one can be able to overcome such challenge. Taking, for example, if it's a HIV, for instance.
Hello, we can't hear
Hello.
you. I only heard
Oh.
about social affairs. Anyway, perhaps it's your network.
I think it's my network. Are you hearing me now, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I want to say if it's the social talking about the social aspect, we'll take they will first of all be a sensitization to the community where they are trying to reintegrate the person into. Go and sensitize them about that particular challenge. If, for example, it's HIV, you go and tell them about HIV, tell them how one can.
This is fistula. I want you to relate it to fistula. This is fistula.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
Hello. I don't know what is the network. All
I'm
right.
hearing you, sir. Hello.
Elamina, he's saying that she relate it to fistula and not HIV.
It's okay. Hello, can you hear me?
The network is bad.
Hello.
I'm hearing you, sir.
I can hear you audibly.
It's okay. Hello. Okay. Hello, Rita. Rita, can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
We can hear you,
Hello,
sir.
can anybody hear me?
Hear you, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Network.
Yes, sir.
Is his network down there? His problem is network down there, not here.
The network is bad. Weather.
Hello? It's terrible. Hello? Okay,
Sir, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate Amina for that contribution. So essentially, I wanted her to relate it to static fistula, a fistula victim that has a fistula survivor who is just going to the community. I appreciate the fact that you have to sensitize the community, which means you have to create awareness about what the fistula is even before such a person is discharged from the hospital. While the treatment is on, there's need for us to use what we call community-based approach, in which case you have to engage the community by creating awareness and let the community know what the fistula is all about, and what are the causes of that fistula, and when is it preventable. You let them know the various ways by which such can be prevented, and is it also curable. You let them know that it can be treated as well, and when treated, the victim can come back to the society because they are part of us. We shouldn't isolate them. We shouldn't discriminate against them, and we shouldn't give them any stigma, so to say, because they can continue to live their life after that condition, because it's a condition, and the condition is not contagious, it's not communicable, it is just a birth injury, childbirth injury. So when the community is in the understanding of that, definitely they will not be isolated, they will not be excluded, they will want to be included in our activities. Then you let the community also know that these people, you can allow them to join the various groups that we have in the community as well. When they are part of, they participate in most of the activities in the community will see them as part of them. So when eventually C is discharged, she can just get into the community. And don't forget the family of that particular survivor must be integrated, must be in the know, must also be educated, must be given, must be sensitized very well, more than the entire community, because the entire community, especially the community leader, the stakeholders, those key stakeholders in the community, they must be involved, so that this lady or this victim of this survivor can have a better place to stay while after getting the treatment, or after being given the the intervention. So these are things we can do. So from there, others who may have that particular, when you do the sensitization, when you create awareness, when you let them know the causes, you're going to remove some myths within the society, the cultural beliefs that they had before about that particular condition will be removed, because you will have educated them. They will have known what it is. When you do that, number one, you're going to prevent the occurrence of such condition in that community. And number two, you're going to create room, opportunity for the survivor to land softly into the society, to come back to that community as a useful element of that community, who can contribute to the development of that community. And again, the resources that will be used to be treating future occurrence will be minimized, and such will not happen, because when it is prevented, when the number of ways to prevent such a condition are analyzed and are made known to the community, they will want to act in that particular part. So every individual rule will be specified in such a program, in such an approach that will be designed to help rehabilitation and reintegration of the survivor. So I think with that, we will understand that particular scenario, that particular case example, which means it has to be person-centered. You put the victim in your mind, and whatever approach you are using, the interest of the principle of the victim should be principal in our mind. And you cannot do it alone, because you may want to involve health practitioners as well, who are knowledgeable in the causes of this obstetric fistula, which you may not have the knowledge of, but yours, you can mobilize community members to participate. You can get all the stakeholders to also be part of that particular program. And I also talk about community education, community-based education, community-based rehabilitation, or even the essence of community engagement. When the community are engaged, which means they participate in all this, and they participate in all these programs, and they see it as their own. So that is an example. So you can think of so many examples. Substance use and addiction, you can think about that as well. A youth with opioid dependence reversed by juvenile justice. You can also think about those scenarios. You can also think about scenario of community development work, a rural community facing exclusion from health services. This is pure health inequality. They don't have health facilities in their setting, in their location. So that's a rural community that has no health facility in their location. You know the kind of problem they will be facing. How do you address that? You may want to use participatory needs assessment participatory rural appraiser for you to understand their problems, for them to tell you their basic needs, their first needs. Then you also apply right-based and asset-based community development. Right-based, what is their immediate need? You don't decide for them. You don't assume their needs for them. You let them tell us what they need. Then we'll talk about community engagement, that means stakeholder engagement and policy advocacy. So these are things we can use as our best practices to ensure that we solve that community problem. You know, this is a rural community. This is something that concerns all the community, away from that concern individual. This is about community now. And the one that concerns group as well, this is what we are talking about here. This concern a group of people, concern the entire community. So that's another aspect of community. Community education or community method, approach, technique to social work. So I wouldn't know if you have questions on this. If you have questions on this before we move forward, maybe in the next 15 minutes, I want us to end this class. So do you have questions? Contributions. Okay, if you have no contributions, quickly, we'll look at the ethical dilemmas and decision making in practice. What are those things?
Excuse sir, what did you say, sir?
Hello?
Ethical what?
Hello, I said ethical dilemmas.
Okay.
And decision making in practice. What are the common ethical conflicts in casework? One of such is, you know, when you are dealing with individual, such an individual will want to say that he has his right to decide on what to do or what not to do. Meaning that an individual, you cannot decide for an individual. An individual can decide for himself or herself. That is why you see many people are actually managing violence, home-based violence in their different homes, gender-based violence in their different homes. But they will never want to complain. They will never want to report. They look at it as if this is it's against the cultural values, that you go and report your spouse, perhaps to a social welfare agency or to police, or you take your spouse to court on this ground. That is why, since we have the VAB law, how many cases have been heard about this? How many cases have been prosecuted on this using VAB law as yardstick? Many will want to fear that, how will I report my husband? How will I report my wife? How will I report my brother? That my brother has abused my child. How will I report my cousin for sexually abusing my daughter? You see, this kind of thinking, cultural beliefs, religion, and so on and so forth, these are dilemmas that you want to see, how do you now harmonize that with your ethics? How do you harmonize? There is a problem in that regard. What about the bodily autonomy, that I have the right to use my body the way I like? Look at the sexual workers, or the sex workers, so to say, the sex workers. They have the right to do whatever they like because they are adults. But the other aspect is, morally, is that good? Ethically, is that business they are engaging in, is it ethically right? The ethics of human being, ethics of living, does it conform with social ethics? That you can just use your body as you like? But when you ask them, they said they own every responsibility on their body because they have what we call bodily autonomy. They want to decide on what happens to their body. They will not even want to weigh the implications to the society, implications to their family. So these are ethical dilemmas that we have. So if you want to prosecute any sex worker now, you may not get anywhere, because she want to say that she has the fundamental right to live the ways he wants. She has fundamental right to choose the kind of life she wants. However, is it in line with our own ethics? These are beliefs that actually shape what we do as professionals. So we have this ethical conflict in our casework. Then you can also apply our own code of conduct, our own ethics that we have in the Chartered Institute of Social Work Practitioner Act. You can check it, look at our own ethics. You have to weigh what you are doing against the ethical considerations, against ethical principles that we have in that act. You have to look at that. Or what the decision you are making, is it in line with our ethical frameworks? Is it in line with our ethical frameworks? You have to weigh all this and you balance. There's need for balance. Balance of these ethics, balance of rights, and balance of ethics. I understand that in Anambra and Kano, there is a law that mandates any prospective or any intending couple to do genotype before marriage. I've not seen that law, but I understand that. To do that, to a kind of to disclose or to get their what do they call it, genotype, to get their genotype before marriage, which means for any marriage that will be conducted in those two states, you must present certificate indicating your genotype, so that society can be saved from this problem of sickle cell diseases or sickle cell disease. So that is actually aiding genetic counseling. If that is happening, which means the future of that state is guaranteed, because that state may be saved from children that will have sickle cell disease tomorrow. Because ab initio, before you can just marry, they will have given you counseling. You will have known the risk factors. You will have known the risk involved in the AA marrying AS, or AA marrying SS, or AS marrying AS. You can see, if that happens, the question is that law not discriminatory in nature? Is it not forcing people against their will? Because some may even take to religion. Some may take to faith-based belief that God will do it. God will never allow it to happen. It's not going to be their portion to have sickle cell disease child. Some may want to look at it as this is infringing on one's right, on one religious right, on one belief right. Because I know in some churches, at least I know of Jehovah's Witness, that they don't do blood transfusion. Just like I wouldn't know that they don't do blood transfusion. If there is a law that compels them to do that, would they not see it as running contrary to their belief, to their spiritual belief? And it's going to be running against the will of God by their own belief. So these are ethical dilemmas that we need to look at it and balance. So as social worker, you need to keep yourself with what is happening in different settings and how best you can apply the ethics of that professor that will not jeopardize the rights of your client. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't know whether we have any man here. I don't know. I don't know whether we have. So if we have, their participants, I think this is going to be a convenient point, a convenient place for me to stop this afternoon, and we're going to continue when next we meet. If you have questions, you can raise your hand or you have contributions so that we can do that in the next 2 minutes. Thank you so much. Hello, any question? Yes, who has not spoken? Akpoguma, I've not heard your voice. Can you say something?
I'm here, sir.
Yes, I know you are there.
I heard everything you said, but the only thing is when you were giving the example of the community-based approach on that case study of the health issues, but I was thinking, or let's say, of the opinion that one should start with the psychosocial aspect of the individual. I don't know if I'm right, because before you go into the community. Sir?
Yes, you are right. Go ahead.
Before you prepare the individual or you go to the community, don't you think it would have been better if we prepare the individuals psychologically?
Yes, you are on the right course. You are right. You must have done that while the individual is in the hospital.
Okay, sir.
Maybe while he is being attended to in the hospital before discharge. You know, I was just talking about after discharge. You must have gotten everything about that individual. Yes. You must have dealt with that individual. You must have reassured her of her life after that condition. You must have given the necessary counseling, pre and post-repair counseling. And of course, letting her understand that she can still live a better life beyond that particular condition.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good day, sir. It's Bubemi that is speaking, Rita. So I just want to know if this Anambra case as a case study and Kano, is it on the meso level, which is the state level, or is it
Hello,
law
can't hear you, please.
Please, I'm just wanting to know the example you
Anybody
gave.
here? Huh?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, please go ahead.
So I just want to have a clarification on the area of the Anambra and Kano case on genotype counseling. That area now, is it that the state has already made it a law in that state itself? That is in the meso level, not in the national level.
Yes, at the meso level, yes, I heard that. Okay. I heard that they already made law. You can find that place. You can find maybe in 2022 or 2021. You can find that place.
So any social worker there can use that law as something that she can use to cancel most of this genotype counseling in the state. That it is, she will not be headline.
Okay. Definitely, it's going to be a very useful instrument that you can use while you are doing your counseling.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I want to appreciate your cooperation. I want to appreciate your understanding. Never mind a kind of breaking transmission this afternoon. Never mind that. It wasn't planned. It was not expected. So maybe next when we have the opportunity of meeting, I know this will improve. And I understand the recording we had last week had been uploaded. If you have not gotten that, you can kindly link up with your colleagues so that you can have it. So once again, I want to thank you, and I want to say happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Hello, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Please,
Hello?
cause Ijoma, I would love to get your number.
My number.
I will give you the number later,
No,
sir. Hello, sir.
Okay.
it's all right.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, mine is on behalf of my colleagues. We were thinking that the lectures can be dropped not only as records, but as papers, so we can print it and read at our own convenience.
No problem. I will send materials to you. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate
it.
We appreciate
thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. God bless.
Okay. The person that asked for the number, I think somebody has to give it to you.
The class rep will give to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ijoma, I'm talking about your number, not the lecturer.
I will call you later.
It's all right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Shebetule, Ma, Diwo, open our page so that people can send you messages. You understand? So we can interact. Secretary, yes, ma'am. We are working on it. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. No? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
Meet you guys again for the next class. Bye. Bye.
Bye. This one was marathon.
Yes. Marathon, no. But it is okay because we dealt with the case study now. Yes.
Yes.
That's the case study that we can really use for illustration, which is better. Not teaching. When we open our group, please let's be proactive and assist each other to learn. No, sir. That's an area you don't understand. You talk. People can't take a minute off and explain. Because we are learning different things now.
Especially this program, you know.
Yeah, so we are learning a lot. A lot. A lot.
More than what I thought social work is on.
No,
Thank you so much.
Bless you. We'll meet again in our own group. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.